Welcome to Trade Talk, the podcast where construction pros connect, share, and grow. Brought to you by Contractors Connect, this show dives into real-world issues facing today's builders on and off the job site.
Whether you're swinging a hammer, running a crew, or scaling a business, we've got the insights, stories, and expert tips to help you level up in the building industry.
I'm Sarah White.
And I'm Erin Bacher. And together, we'll be talking shop with industry leaders, tradespeople, and innovators who are shaping the future of construction.
Let's get to work. This is Trade Talk. Hello, everyone. I'm Sarah White, and today I've got the whole Beespoke crew with me, Lindsay, Kelly, and Erin, and we are opening up our toolbox and pulling back the curtain on the tools that we use that help us do our job better and hopefully will help you guys do your job better.
Absolutely. From content creation, project management, and design, I think we found all the tools and platforms that make our lives a whole lot easier.
Yes. And we know that a lot of our listeners don't have a full-time marketing agency or even a marketing person on staff helping them, but there's so many tools that you can use to make the marketing things happen, whether you're doing it yourself or someone else is helping you.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So let's start off with something that's very critical for our team, which is communication. None of us work out of the same office. We're all remote. So staying in sync is really everything for us.
Yeah, absolutely. Whether we're planning an event, working on a podcast, or just needing to kind of touch base and see what's next on our list, we really heavily rely on platforms like Slack and Google Meet to keep us not only organized, but connected to each other.
Yeah, we do a lot of texting, and that can be hard to keep up with at times where people are having a conversation and maybe somebody isn't engaged at the moment. And so Slack has really been something that I think has helped us a lot, kind of capture the thoughts that pop into your head, and we can organize them by client and all of that. Erin, I know you love these kinds of tools. So
Yes. So the way Slack to me works like my brain does. And like your desktop, 900 different tabs open. And I know everybody's different. Like Sarah's tabs are a little more organized than mine, literally. But that's the way I think. I mean, I'm just kind of creative in the moment. I have an idea, I start it, I don't know. And Slack allows you to have a channel for a project. So like we might have a project that says contract her. And then under that, it might be caffeinate and collaborate events. And then over to the side, the built to lead thing. So everything goes where it is. And then you can use the app and like talk to text when you think of ideas to have in the channel so that they're not just out in the world.
Yeah, the ease of which you can, what we like to call brain dump into the app is so useful because you can organize it so quickly from your phone. It's not an app that's difficult to learn. And everybody can see exactly what you're doing and when you're doing it. We keep a lot of our to-do lists so we know who's working on what and when those projects get accomplished too.
Yeah, I was going to say personally, I love the to-do list feature because I am kind of old school and still like my paper checklist, but this still gives me the option to check a box when I make those lists.
Well, it's like your big picture.
Yeah.
Your big picture to-do list for what you have to do for Beespoke and Contractors Connect and all the platforms is it lives in Slack and we can see each other's. So we can give notes or tag documents or tag Google files. It syncs with our Google Drive, our individual ones and our team Google Drive. So it kind of is the glue.
It really
is. And we do have to remind ourselves, though, sometimes we get away from it, like kind of lately. We've gotten away from it and we're like buried in text, but that's because we're friends too. And sometimes that gets like.
But that's why it's so important to have something like that because there will be 32 text messages and only 3 of them might be work related.
Right.
And you can lose those.
Right.
And so I think even if you're not like us and doing a lot of texting, it's just a good way to, when you think of something, you can write it down on a piece of paper and then where does that paper go? So this is just like a way of making notes for yourself. And I'm sure you could even be more strategic about how you use it, depending on, what you do and what you need it for. But I think that that's a tool that a lot of people
I don't even think I told you this, but Slack just had an update and has added all kinds of AI features that I just upgraded us to, but I don't know what the AI features are yet.
Cool.
So maybe we have a chapter 2 of this episode at some point once we learn more. But it was a minimal cost to upgrade to that. So they've got training videos that you can watch to kind of see what you can do. So I think having these tools is one thing, but keeping up with them and as they develop is another. But really, they make it so easy for you. There's lots of different ways you can learn what they can do, and it doesn't take a lot of time. You just have to stay with it. And we've been guilty of that, of trying different organization tools and then getting away from them and then just kind of letting it go away.
Well, you have to find what works for you. And Slack is the one that we like, but there are other things like Monday and other tools. But I just think
I've never used that.
Having a project management tool, I think, is something that everybody in our industry, in any industry really, could use. And so kind of along that communication lines is, I know everybody hates Zoom calls and Google Meets, but we do find it helpful, and even FaceTime sometimes, just to have a face-to-face conversation. We try to get together as much as we can, but
well, we do that through Slack Huddle internally, and they call them huddles, and it's like a FaceTime, but it takes notes, it records, it lives in the channel of the thing you were talking about. If you're organized enough to do that, it's very easy. We like a huddle. I think we all have preferences, but I prefer Google Meet. If I had to pick Zoom or Google Meet, I like Google Meet.
I would have to agree with you.
We're already using so much of the Google suite.
Right.
And it's got the Gemini AI tool to take notes. It'll turn it into whatever form you want it in. You can even say, Gemini, put this in a spreadsheet and add, so that I can add, what am I trying to say? Due dates and check boxes, and And these ways, when people hear AI, especially in the construction industry, I think, and we say that because we've got several husbands in it, and they're like, AI, it's not necessarily a robot.
No, and it's not as overwhelming as you think it is. And you can obviously dive a lot deeper into it, but there are some very surface level ways to use AI that will just make your business run so more efficiently.
I don't think people understand that you can literally say, turn this document into a spreadsheet and have these columns, and it just does it. And I'm speaking specifically now to Google Sheets, but the Google Suite AI is called Gemini. And there's probably millions of things I don't know about it, but I do know that I can tell it to make a spreadsheet the way I want it to be, and it'll do it. And that's really invaluable.
100%.
If you're in the construction industry and your marketing feels more like a punch list than a plan, it might be time to call in the pros. At Beespoke Consulting, we help contractors and construction businesses get noticed with branding that builds trust, websites that convert, and marketing strategies that actually move the needle. Want to grow your business without wasting time or money? Start with Beespoke. Learn more at bespokeconsulting.com. Yeah, I think there are so many new AI tools out there. It's a little overwhelming to figure out which ones work for you. But a simple thing that I just realized the other day is that iPhone will now record your phone call while you're on the phone, obviously. But sometimes when you're driving or doing other things and you don't have time to take notes, it's a great way that it can just record what you discuss, so you can go back and refer to it without having to be sitting there, writing down what's being said. It does say this call is being recorded, which is obviously a legality. So just beware that it's going to interrupt your call. So I would just say to the person, hey, do you mind if I record this so that I don't have to take notes?
And so you don't seem like a creep. And then you can
absolutely.
Then you can take that transcript that it spits out, put it in ChatGPT, which is a good segue to the next thing, and say, pull out the action items for me.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. ChatGPT is honestly
all of our best friends.
It is. I really think everybody needs to get to know their ChatGPT, ChatGPT. It's weird for me to say that because mine is named Ava.
Right.
And I asked her what her name is, and she told me Ava. So I only refer to her as Ava now. But
Mine's Kevin. And I mean, he really specializes in big picture brainstorming, like business development or brand development. Like, I have this crazy idea, let's make it work. He's so gifted.
And mine is Leo, and he is really good with communications. I use him a lot for proofreading emails.
oh, I haven't thought of that.
Yeah, I typically will write it out, copy and paste it to him, and tell him to proofread it, and he's better than me.
See,
So,
I just tell
love it.
Ava, I want to say blah, 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 and can you write me an email?
Yeah, I do that too, but I do
saves a
like
lot of
when
time.
I kind of shoot from the hip with
Right.
things to copy and paste it real quick and say proofread this.
But on that note, it's all about the prompt.
Right.
So
Yes.
you're telling it your own ideas
Right.
and what the gist of it.
I'm giving a brain dump.
Yes, it's a brain dump turned into a polished email, which you know how to do. You know how to write a polished email, but it's saving you time. It's making you more effective. But I think that's important because I get emails all the time where I'm like, it's so obvious that
Yes.
it's AI.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like, there's not an original idea in it, and it sounds like a robot.
It's too much jargon.
That is not your own ideas.
Yeah.
So
Absolutely.
that's
you have to
there's
be
a
careful.
big
Yeah.
difference.
And there's
there.
like a training. I know, Lindsay, you've had to do some training with yours.
Yes.
What is your name?
Yeah, I was like, you guys haven't even asked about my team
know.
member. Well,
Your
you
team
know,
member.
you know his name. His name is Leroy.
Yes.
And
Love him. He's a rascal.
He's a all around
Yeah.
good old guy.
Yeah.
Yes, but yeah, I had to train him up because he was a little weird at first,
Right.
just a little off.
Yeah.
But yeah, you can whip him into shape.
He was like silly or something.
Yeah,
and
right.
like, we're here to work.
Right. Yeah. He was trying to change names, change my name. It just got, it was
Yeah.
too much.
Yeah.
So we're on the right path now, and he's a superstar.
He is.
And
Yes.
so ChatGPT is free. And I recommend everybody start with the free version. But if it becomes something that you're using more often, I mean, I use it all day.
Yeah.
Then I would recommend going with the professional. And it's not that much. I think I pay like $20 a month or something.
Yeah.
Well, and I use it professionally and personally
Yes.
now.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
it helps me in every aspect of my life. So well worth the cost to do that.
Right, exactly.
Upgraded it.
So the pro account, I mean, we might as well get ChatGPT to do a commercial on this.
Yeah, I know.
I don't know if that's a thing. I
They
don't know
would
if we're
write
big
it.
enough yet for it. Yeah, exactly. But the pro account allows us to have its channels like does it call them that? No, it calls them projects.
Projects.
But
Yeah,
it's
projects.
channels kind of like Slack, which is great because that's the way my brain thinks. But and it also retains information.
Yes, that's really key. And I also feed it information. So
Yes.
I will say, I am working on a plan for this client, read their website.
Yeah.
And then we work on together. I mean, it's only as good as the information that you give it.
Yeah.
So-
Yes, and it's obvious when you see work that has been, done with ChatGPT that they literally just told it to do it. That's
and
definitely
pasted.
not how we use it. It's like a team member. I mean,
So
I love using ChatGPT for social media.
yes.
I typically will start with graphics and then drop that graphic in and say summarize, and it takes all the information off of the ad or the postcard or the flyer that we're putting together, and we'll draft out captions for us to use. And it's a really efficient tool in that way because you're not
do
having to rewrite
something
things.
similar, but I will usually give it the website and say, I want to write 5 posts, and I want the topics to be one about a guest review, one to be about this new product line, and one to be about this great customer that they have, and come up with.
Oh, I love that because I love getting from Kevin or Leroy or Ava a list of like, hey, we have these ideas for social media, turn these into graphics, and then I take it from there and can come up with the actual captions to
Yes.
write if they haven't already written them.
And
And it just seamlessly helps us all work together.
You know, it will create some graphics for you. I don't find that they're usually that great.
I'll be honest, I don't.
But
Your prompts have to be really good to create graphics.
That's probably another tool that we don't know about. So
Right,
we
I'm sure
can't
there
talk
is, yeah.
about on this episode.
Yeah,
I mean,
absolutely.
there's probably something great out there, but we design all our own graphics.
we
I
do.
mean,
But one thing that I have noticed that Ava will say is she will suggest a graphic to go with
Yes.
it. And then I
Yes.
can take that information and go to one of our other favorite tools, Canva,
Yep.
and create something.
and she doesn't necessarily create a visual. She'll say, I picture a woman running on the beach with, whatever. And even if you don't love it, it gets your
Brain
mind
going.
going.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay, is that a segue to Canva?
Yeah. So let's talk about that. We've spoken about Canva before, but I really think it is just such a huge tool, and people do not have graphic designers on staff, and there are so many templates that you can just use the template as it is, or you can play around with it and change out the colors and that sort of thing.
My favorite thing is, I cut you
No,
off.
you're good. Go ahead.
You're probably about to say the same thing. The brand kits?
Yep, absolutely.
Yes, go with
You're
it.
reading
Go with
my
it.
mind. That takes no time in the beginning. Drop your colors in, drop your fonts in. It is so easy to take that brand kit and create something that looks custom for your business, even though it's a template that's in there. And those are the things that I think sometimes Canva people are like, oh, don't use it. It looks the same. It looks the same. It doesn't have to.
Well, and there are thousands and thousands and thousands
Absolutely.
of templates, so you can find something.
Anybody can.
And you can create your own thing in there too.
Of course,
But
yeah.
I just always find it's easier to start with a template, and then it kind of gets my brain going, and I can.
You may end up deleting half of the little
Yes,
things in there,
absolutely.
but sometimes it's a starting
Yeah.
place. But once you start building a brand kit for your brain, not for your brain, that would be good too. For your brand or your sub brand, like for example, we have Contractors Connect, but we've got Contractor Connect under it. We've got Trade Talk. But like for example, you look at the Trade Talk podcast brand kit in our Canva, our team Canva. And you'll see all the exact colors that you can use. You'll see previous graphics that we've done, like all the podcast graphics that Sarah designs with the little snippets and everything. Once you've got the template made, it makes everything moving forward so much easier.
Yeah,
and
right.
we produce a lot of graphics.
And speaking of that, let's talk about how we get all of those graphics out of Canva onto our social media channels.
So I really think scheduling social media is so important because life happens, and it is best if you can just have things scheduled out and you're not tied to the computer or your phone every day trying to come up with something new.
Well, it also allows you to have a strategy. I mean, I've seen social media done a lot of different ways from the back end, even with my own teams over the years. And if you're just posting as they need to come, you're not thinking it through. There's no strategy there. That's a content creator. That's not a social media strategist.
Right.
Absolutely.
And they're two very different things. If you want to be both, then you have to have foresight.
Right.
Yep, 100%. And speaking of just scheduling tools in general, that's also one of my favorite things. And I think kind of going sideways, but like scheduling out emails, for example. Sometimes your brain is working at 10 o'clock at night, but it's not necessarily appropriate to send a client an email that late. So, I mean, I love just using the simple features that I think sometimes we forget about, and just scheduling out an email to go out at 8 a.m. instead of...
I didn't even know that was a thing. I mean, I've known for a while now, but Rachel Herring, our graphic designer, taught me that a few years ago. I was like, man, I just emailed people at 3 a.m. before.
Right.
Which is, I mean, actually it's pretty frequent.
Yeah.
But that is a great tool.
Yeah, so let's talk about some scheduling tools. My favorite is Sprout, and partly because I don't like to learn new tricks.
And this is a hot topic.
And I love
Beespoke
Sprout.
right now.
But there are plenty of other tools. Even you can schedule right through Meta. But what do you guys have others that you like?
Well, why do you like Sprout so much? Because you can do lots of different platforms in there.
Right. Yeah, absolutely.
And in Meta, you can do Meta products.
Right. So in Sprout, you can schedule to YouTube, you can schedule to X, you can schedule to Facebook, Instagram.
Pinterest, we don't do that, but
Right. There's and it also
We've
gives
had
you a lot
clients
of
that did
data
before.
about, what posts perform well and that sort of thing.
yeah. So Foresight again.
Yep. Another tool that I think we're all super familiar with is Wix. We use that for our websites, and a lot of our clients are also have their websites hosted through Wix.
That's our preferred platform for websites.
It's simple. It's simple to use, but there's also a lot of tools inside of it that I think people don't realize. Such as being able to create events and take payments and track those things through Wix, which is it's great.
All our websites are built through Wix, but our Contractors Connect website relies very heavily on a lot of Wix features. Where like Beespoke doesn't need as many, but we use it for our event management and our ticket sales. And
it's very easy to use. I've never ever had taken a class on Wix. Nobody's ever told me how to do something. It's very intuitive.
It is.
Yeah.
Very easy to learn. And I like the newsletter feature.
Yes.
Being able to
A
build
lot of people
those.
don't know they
You
have
save
that.
the templates. We can drop in new photos, new content, and get those and they're
And you get
connected
the
to all of our
analytics.
contact lists, and you get the analytics. It's very easy and it's very quick.
And we've used a lot of different newsletter platforms with clients. We've used Constant Contact, MailChimp.
what was the other one?
There
we
was
had?
another one. I can't remember.
With the 9-line
Yes.
Wagyu.
But we've used a lot of them, and they're not cheap. And I think they're all great, that you can do great work with all of them. But if you have your website built on Wix, this is just already included.
Yes,
It makes them
absolutely.
so
There's
easy.
no exporting lists from one place, uploading it to another, keeping those databases consistent when you are having subscribers subscribed through Wix. That's that information always get to MailChimp or Constant Contact. There's those extra steps that if you're doing it all in the same platform.
You can pull photos that are on your website already
in your
to use
event
in the
gallery
newsletter.
on your website.
Right.
Like it's all, and I think there's a lot to
integrated.
be said, and that I forgot we talked about this when we were preparing for this, is really utilizing these tools you're paying for.
Yeah, that's what I was going to
Absolutely.
say. That to your point is, I think sometimes we sign up for these tools and we don't even realize all the features that they offer. So take the time to kind of get to know everything. That way you're not accidentally paying for a Constant Contact on top of Wix when you already have that capability inside of something you're having a monthly subscription for.
You got to keep up with the updates. So our to-do list is the AI features in Slack. We got to learn them.
Yep.
We keep talking about how we want to learn the new Canva sheets.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's some kind of spreadsheet feature. I can't speak to it yet. Maybe episode 2 we'll know more. But we have this ongoing list of things that we know. Oh, there's an update. We need to learn that because you're paying for it.
Right.
Want to grow your network and your business? Join Contractors Connect, the go-to networking group for professionals in the building industry. For just $400 a year, members get 4 complimentary meetup tickets per year, a featured spot in our online directory, visibility at every Contractors Connect event, and more. Whether you're a contractor, vendor, or service pro, there's a place for you here. Join today at contractors-connect.com/memberships, and let's build something great together. Now back to the show.
One of our biggest values at Beespoke is staying current and staying in tune with what's going on. So we're always curious, always trying to learn. Let's talk about some of the ways that we do that.
Well, we kind of talked about this on the way here. I use podcasts, and this is sincere. This is not just because I'm talking on a podcast, but I use podcasts for research, for client consultations a lot. So, for example, today, before I got in the car, because I had my journey over here to the studio, I looked up podcasts about the stone and countertop industry, which I know that sounds so boring, but I listen to there's more of them than you would think about any industry. In fact, I learned so much about marketing for roofers from podcasts, and I will listen and I will kind of pick the gist of it up and it'll give me an idea.
Well, and I listened to a bunch of podcasts when we were starting this podcast about how to start a podcast.
Yeah,
Yes.
absolutely.
Yes.
So there's so many topics out there, and broad topics like leadership and marketing, but also there's some really kind of detail oriented ones that you can really hone in on specifically what you're trying to learn.
Yeah, and it might be specific tools for a specific industry that they're talking about. But I think I've learned a lot of what the tools that I use to make my job work more efficiently. A lot of it I've picked up from listening to people talk about it on podcasts.
Yeah, and I am more of a short format learner, so I love watching reels or short TikToks. And I mean, I'll use it like Google, and I'll Google what I'm trying to learn about, and because I can keep my attention for 30 seconds.
I agree.
And I learn very quickly some really great tips and tricks.
And I know a lot of people are into YouTube as well for that sort of thing. But I'm the same way. TikTok has totally changed my brain, and I can only focus in short clips now, and I don't want to read. I just want to be talked to.
Yeah.
So TikTok is great. You can search for all kinds of things there. It's not just funny videos.
Yeah.
And then, also YouTube, if you need a little bit more in depth of how to do, I've watched YouTube videos about how to use software and things like that too.
Yeah, absolutely. And taking that a step further, I know we're talking about tools that help us stay current with things, but how to find those tools. We also use these same avenues to find the tools. And then, I know a lot of people don't like to do demos of new platforms and new things that are coming onto the market that are great tools. But if you take the time to do it, we just did one this week, give yourself some time to really think through the questions you have. That's very valuable time. I think it was 45 minutes maybe, and it was so valuable to learn the ins and outs of a new tool and if it could really work for us.
And if and even if we don't use that exact brand of that CRM that we were demoing, we learned all the right questions to ask to everybody else we talked to.
Yeah.
And we learned even the capabilities of a CRM that were way beyond what we realized. There were things that could replace things that we have. So I think it's important to even if you're just learn in general, just learn.
Yeah.
Because
Stay
it'll make your
curious.
job easier.
Yeah,
Yes.
stay curious. That's a good point.
Yes.
Erin, you're kind of like a knowledge junkie. You're always searching out something. I know you love Masterclass.
Yes. I specifically watch Masterclass in parking lots while I'm waiting for baseball practices to end. And I've learned all kinds of things from Masterclass. It's kind of what helped me get comfortable with using AI. I've learned things about sales because I think we really all do a lot of sales in our business, but I kind of head up the sales division of our company. And I've always said I could have been a used car salesman. I learn a lot of just skills and how I think there's a lot of different things in master classes that make you more well-rounded as a businesswoman. But also or man. But I also I love like the gardening ones and I love the cooking ones and just anybody. I am a knowledge. Yes.
How I built this. Those are
How
all
I
things.
built this. Man, that's a podcast if you don't know by Guy Raz. But that concept, I have such an entrepreneurial spirit and always trying to, come up with another thing. I have since I was little, really. And it doesn't have to have anything to do with any client I have or anything that I'm doing right now, but I love hearing how people built things.
Yeah.
And you get that kind of thing through Masterclass as well. But there's so much to be learned from other people's experiences.
Yeah. And that brings up a really good point because I know we've talked about apps and platforms and all the things that you can do online or from your phone, but keep in mind too, the tool of networking is huge. You can, just like you're saying, learning from Masterclass, learn from people that you meet.
Right.
Contractors
Absolutely.
Connect is a great place
Which
to learn.
is really
Follow
what
those
inspired
people
it.
through your social media, see what they're doing that you like, and see what they're doing that you maybe want to stay away from too.
Well, that reminds me, when I was in college, I'll never forget, my professor said the number one rule of marketing is copy and steal everything.
Yep.
There's no need to reinvent the wheel. So if something's working well for other people, make it your own and do it yourself. And that's what listening to all of these podcasts, watching videos is a way for you to figure out how to make these things work for you.
Yeah, awesome. Well, let's jump into our favorite tools personally
Yes.
and what we each like to use individually. What's in your toolkit and why do you love it?
Sure, I'll start. So I love the Remarkable, which is like an iPad, but it's like a notepad that you can take notes on digitally. Like you can write with a, I don't know, I guess it's like a stylus, right?
Yeah.
You write with a stylus, you can write your notes on it.
It feels like paper too.
It does.
It doesn't write like an iPad does. It
Right.
feels like a more
Yes. And so you can create notepads in there. You can turn through the pages like scrolling. And then if you can turn the pen upside down to erase. Anyhow, what's great about it is I like to write down notes, but I end up writing them on 6 different pieces of paper, and then I can't figure out which paper was that meeting on, and everything is all in this one place that also they can turn into text. And so I can upload it and share my notes with the group without them having to try to read my handwriting or me trying to track down that.
And it presents so professionally at consultations because we're all paper people, so we're writing and we're flipping and notebooks, which is great because I think everybody has their avenue to keep them organized. But when I see you, it just presents very professionally.
We should probably be using them.
Yes, we should.
Here.
Yeah, we probably should.
Yeah. And I like with the Remarkable, you can also put files in there, so notes from certain, they go in the right places. Well, I was supposed to pick one, but I picked 2, but I'll be brief. I love, and this is more from a mom, working mom thing. It kind of keeps everybody in line for me, but the Skylight calendar is...
I want one of those so bad.
Yeah, it's really great for me because all of my calendars feed into it. It's a screen, so it kind of looks like it's the same idea as an Alexa show, sort of.
Yeah, right.
Well,
It's a little
maybe
bit
not.
bigger, though.
Yeah, but it's bigger, and I mean, mine's like this big. And which, if you're listening, that means nothing to you, but whatever. Anyway, all the calendars sync to it, and the kids, I can tab like, this is for Jackson. His are all blue. This, Cole and Jackson need to be there, and I really like that.
And you said you could even like take a picture of a schedule and it'll...
Yeah, for $30 a year, don't quote me on that, but something like that. You can do the Skylight Plus and the flyers that come home from school, that like the whole school calendar or whatever, you can just take a picture and it automatically syncs in there.
That's amazing.
And that is key, having, all these different things that come at us, that really helps me a lot. And then the second one is Rocket Money, which another kind of personal thing, we should do it with our business too.
Yeah.
But it's an app that'll catch subscriptions and help you cancel things. It'll even, it just recently renegotiated my MediaCom bill.
Oh,
and lowered it.
Wow.
I could certainly see how a business could use that because we've just listed out a whole bunch of subscriptions that everybody should go sign up for. And so this is a good way to see, like, am I using all of them?
Yeah, right. It helps. So that's mine.
Yeah. And I think mine, a little more trendy, and I hope it sticks around, but it's CapCut. Doing a lot of social media work. It's a really efficient tool to drop videos and photos and that stored a ton of templates in there.
Yeah.
And you can very quickly and very easily create some very aesthetically pleasing reels and videos that just are going to capture more attention than your static post sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah, and mine would have to be really any of the transcription apps that feed into like our Zoom meetings or our Google Meets. Otter AI is one that we use. And it's great because, one, it can take notes if you're in the meeting, but if there's, apparently we just learned this actually this week, if you can't attend the meeting in person, your Otter can come on and take notes for you and just send you a transcript after the meeting. And so
that's really cool.
It allows you to kind of, hear what went on and stay up to date. So it's just a time saver and great in a lot of ways.
They're awesome. Like I think this week when we were using it, or we kind of just clicked on, we didn't know, but it was awesome because I don't think we talked beforehand about who was going to take notes, who was going to kind of lead that conversation. And so when Sarah popped in, she was there.
She wasn't even there
taking notes. Yeah,
so it's awesome.
That was great, and that's really what all this is about: is saving time, which saves money.
Yeah,
and a lot of people think of some of these tools as like cheats or AI as like a cheat. you can't think of it like that. It just makes you do your job better and faster.
Absolutely.
And that matters, especially to your clients.
Well, in all fairness, if you're not doing it, you're going to be left behind because everybody is going in that direction with it.
Right, for sure. All right, well, that was fun.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, we'll have to continue that once we get some more tools under our belt.
Absolutely.
Sure, we'll have some more soon.
Yeah.
All right.
Calling all women in construction, this is your moment to build boldly. Join us for the Built to Lead Women in Construction Summit, happening August 21st at the Emerald Grand in Destin, Florida. This one-day event brings together industry leaders for powerful keynotes, breakout sessions, and real talk about leadership, growth, and opportunity in the building world. Space is limited, so grab your ticket now at contractors-connect.com/contracther. Let's break ground together. All right, now it's time for one of my favorite segments,
Voices from the Booth. I told you it was weird, Kelly.
All right.
I love that.
This is where we take you inside conversations that are happening at some of our events where industry professionals tell us a little bit about themselves, why they enjoy connecting at our events, and how they've helped them out. So first up, we've got a clip with Brandon from Hard Rock Stone and Tile.
Hello, everyone. I'm Lindsay here at Contractors Connect in Escambia County. I've got Brandon with Hard Rock Stone and Tile. And we've been chatting, and I just want to hear a little bit about why you attend these events and how they've helped you out.
The connections and the communication. You know, you get connections from people that may not work directly with you, but they hand your card out. They pass your information on. So it becomes a network. 5 years ago, we didn't have that. We didn't have, I know a plumber, I know a cabinet guy. Now there's communities of it, of all of us working together, all of us referring each other just to make life a little easier.
And then next up, we've got a clip from Alex at Sherwin-Williams.
I'm here at Contractors Connect in Escambia County. I've got Jacinia and Alex with me from Sherwin-Williams, and they are special guests because their company is actually going to be speaking at our Built to Lead Women in Construction Summit in August. So we're super excited to have you guys for that. And I just want to chat with them a little bit about how your night's going and if you guys are making any great connections here.
Well, I've actually never been out to the Escambia one before, and I've never been to this restaurant, so I think it's been great. You have a full house. We've met a lot of great connections. What do you think, Jacinia?
My first time. It's been a great experience thus far, and making good connections with all types of trades.
Yes, yeah, definitely. Well, we are so excited to have you. Thank you guys for coming. And again, we're so looking forward to having your company speak at our upcoming event. So we'll see you there.
Alex and Brandon are both great members of Contractors Connect, and they come to a lot of events. They come in Pensacola and in South Walton, so we love seeing them.
And they're always bringing new people to the table, which is good. It's the more people that attend these events, the better it is for everyone because it keeps it interesting and it keeps it transactional.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. All right. Well, this is a fun episode. It's always fun when we get to all be together. So, and hopefully everybody learned something, and we'll have to come back and tell you when we add some new things to our toolkit.
Yeah, hopefully this gave you some inspiration to try out a new tool or two. And if you guys have anything in your pockets that you use, please let us know because we love trying out new stuff and always staying curious.
Yeah. We are going to put all of the tools that we talked about today into a blog on our Contractors Connect page, so that way everybody can check them out and see what they think.
Absolutely. And be sure to like, follow, and subscribe wherever you're watching your podcast or listening, whether that's Apple Music, Spotify, or YouTube. And make sure to leave us a review. They really do help, and they get others involved and part of the conversation.
Yes, like and share. All right, see you next Tuesday. Thanks for tuning into Trade Talk, powered by Contractors Connect, where construction pros connect, share, and grow.
If you enjoyed today's episode, be sure to like and subscribe, leave a review, and share it with your crew.
Until next time,
Stay sharp,
stay safe,
and keep building.